Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnu Pada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paramichaka Sri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Kuti Vaishnava Ki Jai Sri Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prayam Sikao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopa Dashaka Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Lord Premanande all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Guru Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, good morning to all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for allowing me to come back. I was here yesterday and you let me come back, so you're very tolerant. I'm in a room full of Vaishnavas. It's tolerance. Proves we don't have to have good qualities to get the tolerance of the Vaishnavas. So, the verses that 35 through 38. Also, 38 's on Sriya Yachakshusam Purusham Mulir Udarasa Lila Loka Kalayos Translation. Keep in mind Lord Krishna. So the ladies are very excited. Everyone's very excited to see it. But it's outlined how the ladies are very happy to see Krishna. That was only the beginning. This goes on. We're going to see everyone is so excited to see Krishna. Observing Lord Mukunda's wives passing on the road like stars accompanying the moon, the women exclaim, "What have these ladies done so that the best of men bestows upon their eyes the joy of his generous smiles and playful sidelong glances?" So, I'm wanting to get some of these sidelong glances. Have you heard about these sidelong glances? How does he do that? Ever imagine? I can remember back in the late 70s when I was dressing Radha Kalajanji in Dallas. I would wonder, is he giving me sidelong glances? Sometimes it sure felt like it. See if I can catch it, you know. And he's like, I felt like this game we were playing. One of these days, the sidelong glances. I guess we're all going to get it, right? Till then, we're just going to be enticed. The desire is being. It's like when you smell prasadam cooking. You know, you're not supposed to lust over it. But how can you? Chunks, roses, dolls. But Krishna, I'm not lusting. I'm not lusting. So, until we get the sidelong glances from Krishna, we're just going to have to lust over it, want it, desire it. And I think when we get that, our first first since we left Krishna, when we get that first sidelong glance, it's going to be tremendously exciting, isn't it? It's going to be like the first one. Although it's not the first one. We had sidelong glances from Krishna for eternity before we came here. Being a fallen conditioned soul. If you are Nityasiddha and you've never left Krishna, well, you've had sidelong glances for eternity. You know, you never had a first one, did you? But I get to have the first one. So there are some advantages for us. We fell away, we came to this material world, and now we're fighting our way back with the help of Srila Prabhupada. So many wonderful Vaishnavas. Everyone is helping everyone fight their way back. We're like part of the army. You know? Every soldier is helping the other soldiers. We're fighting our way back to our deserved position. We deserve to be next to Krishna, getting these sidelong glances. For us, it's going to seem like the first one. And all the other Nityasiddhas that never left, they had Krishna for eternity. They didn't get a first one, did they? They didn't get a first one. They never met Krishna for the first time. But for us, it's going to be like we're meeting Krishna for the first time. So we're kind of special, aren't we? We could even be a little puffed up when we go back home, huh? Probably not. But it's something to ponder. Tatra pasangagamya pura mangala paniya chakru saparyam krishnaya sreni mukya hathaina saha. Translation. In various places, citizens of the city came forward holding auspicious offerings for Lord Krishna, and sinless leaders of occupational guilds came forward to worship the Lord. Purport. While Srila Prabhupada writes, quote, while Lord Krishna was passing on the road, at intervals, some of the citizens who were all rich, respectable, and freed from sinful activities presented auspicious articles to the Lord, just to offer him a reception to the city. Thus they worshiped him as humble servitors. So this is a snapshot. This is a view into Krishna's realm, his entourage. Notice that they're referred to these citizens were referred to as sinless leaders. Remember yesterday we were talking about Santa Claus? You know, the fictitious toy bringer. So, sinless leaders, to us in the material world, that sounds like something made up, doesn't it? That's fiction. But in Krishna's world, his world travels with him. No, the leaders are sinless. Why are these leaders sinless? It's not just because they're offering nice gifts to Krishna. It's because they're in love with Krishna. They're fully in love. They're just as much in love with Krishna as the ladies that are on the rooftops throwing flowers. They're in love with Krishna. And this love for Krishna cleanses the heart, like it's doing with us. It's like when we're very dirty and we go to take a bath, we start to get clean. But before the bath is over, there's still a little dirt here and there. So that's where we are. We're a work in progress. We're bathing. We're taking that bath, right? I'm getting there. I'm not squeaky clean yet, but give me a little time. Let me continue following this bathing process, chanting Hare Krishna, associating with you, hearing from you, serving you. If I continue this bathing process, I'll get clean. I have to know that. I have to, beyond, some people say, do you believe that? You know? And I say, I always have this smart aleck comeback. Do you believe that? No, I don't believe it. I know it. Knowing is all the way there. Believing is still bathing, you know? Knowing is when you're clean. Or just having absolute faith. Yes, I believe it. I know it. I know that what Prabhupada said is true. I know it to be a fact. Isn't it? How do we learn? How do we know? Krishna says in the first verse of the 7th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, that you will know him in full, free from doubt. Why would he say that if it wasn't true? What does he say you have to do to get to know him in full, free from doubt? Huh? Here, touch Trinu. Now here. I'm saying this to you because you're my dear friend. You see? It's that whole relationship. Krishna is trying his best to woo you back to him. Listen to me. Touch Trinu. Now here. Practice yoga in full consciousness of me. You see? So at some point along the way, we get to the point where we know. We know. There's no doubt. We're free from doubt. We may have a doubt once in a while. Isn't it? It's possible. But it's like a passing second. I was going to say a passing moment, but it's a passing second that you may have a doubt. But not in Krishna. Well, not in our founder Acharya. We don't have doubts. When we feel the doubt, who's the doubt in? Good old number one. I don't know if I can do this, you know. I'm trying so hard. I do what they say. I read the books. I do it all. I'm such a good devotee, and I got this doubt. So then if you analyze that, you realize, well, maybe I'm not really doing my best. I don't like that. I had a lot of association working under Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And one thing I learned that you never say to the Goswami is when something went bad, never say, I did it once and never did it again. Well, I did my best. Oh, you did your best. And so this is the product of your best? Well, I'd hate to be around when you did your worst. And then my shika's flowing in the wind. For a long time, Maharaj could take these breaths and chastise you with the longest breath in history. And you'd be thinking, oh, Krishna, just Could you just kill me? Give me a knife, I'll do it myself. But is this best? You know you didn't do your best, don't you? Yes, Maharaj. But you can do your best, can't you? Yeah. Yes, Maharaj. And you will do your best from now on, right? Yes, Maharaj. All right, that's really good. I'm glad we had this talk. Are you all right? He would, sometimes when he would blow me away, he would say, are you all right? Oh yeah, I'm okay. Just let me get out that door. It's like the door of his office seems like it would magically start moving farther and farther away. I'd look at the door and it's usually like about where you are. Then I look back and it's moved like 20 yards away. I mean, that's my safety. I get out that door. So then he would say, okay, now go. Now this time, do your best. And I'm thinking, even if I do my best, I'm not going to tell you that I did my best. It's not going to happen. I may not be the smartest, brightest star in the sky, but I'm not the dimmest either. I can be taught. And so I would make it out the door of his office, close the door behind me. And start walking down the hallway to go on to my next duty. And he had this buzzer up under his desk. Srila Prabhupada had a buzzer too, most places where he went. And he would press the buzzer, and that would mean somebody come in. And so I'd get about halfway down this hallway, and the hallway seems like it's getting longer. And I'd hear, beep. Oh no, he's not finished with me. Oh no, this could be terrible. So I go back in. Yes, Maharaj. Well, that was a really good talk that we had, wasn't it? And so I told him, it wasn't like we were having a talk. I kind of felt more like it was you having the talk, and he would laugh. And so as soon as I got him laughing, we would laugh for a while. It was like, whew, okay, he's over the... So now we're back to being buds, you know. There for a while, it was time to beat the old guy up, you know. So because, and he would tell me sometimes, do you know why I'm so hard on you? No. Because you can take it. Do you know why Prabhupada was so hard on me? Because you could take it? Yes, because I could take it. Do you know what that means, to be able to take it? No. It means that you have faith in what you're doing. It means that you're a sold-out soldier. Yes, Maharaj. All right. Real good talk. Hare Krishna. Have a good day. So this time I would bolt out the door and I'd run down that hallway before the buzzer. If I got outside in the courtyard, you know, if I'm out in the courtyard, legally, even if I heard the buzzer, I don't have to go back, because I could say, I was in the courtyard. So I'd be gone. And he could talk with the buzzer. You know, he could put emotion into it. Sometimes it would be beep. That means, hey, you know, if you have a chance, come on in. Beep, beep. Hurry up. Come on in. Beep. That means you should have been in here 20 minutes ago. And you're going to die when you come through that door. So, somebody, it was recently his Vyas Puja, wasn't it? Yeah. And I didn't get a chance to go through Dallas because I was preparing for my India trip, to celebrate. But anyway, there's so many, a million memories, and sometimes they come out. So thank you for enduring. Sweet memories. I just wish that I could have his chastisement again. He used to send his disciples out of the room. When they did something wrong, I could tell he was very angry, and he would say, all of you go outside and chant one round. I have to talk with Jivananda. I'm thinking, this is killing me. So he was upset because one of them did something. And I'm thinking, he's going to take it out on me. And rightfully so. I mean, his reasoning was, well, you're in charge. This happened on your watch. Should I take the blame? No. So that leaves you. And I know what you're thinking. You can't be watching everything that everybody does, but you know what? You're in charge. That means that the buck stops on your desk. So, and he would, now you go fix it, So, but it was actually more enjoyable than I'm making it out to be. At that very moment, I felt like, I could just die. But, I always walked away a stronger man, stronger devotee. So, and still today, I don't like it. My disciples, sometimes I tell them when they say, I did my best. I say, of course, I don't go completely TKG on them. But I just say, you did your best. Did you really do your best? Or is that just something we like to say? So we were talking about sinless leaders. That's something that's kind of odd for our world, is it? We hear all kinds of sinful leaders. So we can only imagine Maharaj Yudhishthira, sinless leader. The great King Ram, sinless leader. So there are examples there for us to follow of what is a leader supposed to be like. A Rajarishi, sinless leader. What are they supposed to be like? Yes, they can exist and they should exist, even though they don't. But we have examples for people to follow if they'd like to become a sinless leader. So what does that mean? Well, we have these principles in our bhakti yoga. There's 4 principles that we follow. Mercifulness. We're required to be merciful. Clean. We're required to maintain a state of cleanliness. Austerity. We're required to have to be austere. I mean, we can get into the absolute definitions later, and truthfulness. That's a requirement. It's like if you've got this table here, it's got 4 legs. And if each one of those is one of those principles, if you take one away, the table falls over. You can't do that. Oh, but I'm a busy leader. Sometimes I have to not be truthful. I'm doing my best. No, I don't think you are. I think you can do these jobs and still be truthful, merciful, austere, clean. You can do this. So I think we're going to have generations to come. You, all of you, you're going to be these sinless leaders. You've got the chance. You're going to be the leaders. You're going to drive this ISKCON. You're going to take it over. We're all going to leave. Sooner or later, we're going to be gone and you're going to drive it. So what kind of a driver will you be? You know? So you can do this. You'll give us this. So, did I read the purport already? Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, quote, while Lord Krishna was thus passing on the road, at intervals, some of the citizens, who were all rich, respectable, and freed from sinful activities, presented auspicious articles to the Lord, just to offer him a reception to the city. Thus they worshipped him as humble servitors. We know when we offer something to Krishna, these men were very wealthy, and they might have had something very nice that I'm sure it was a very nice gift that they're giving Krishna. You see? So what does Krishna need? You know, he's the guy that has everything. And more than you can imagine, more than everything. He has everything that's yet to be. You see? So what can we give him that will impress him? So it's your love and affection. He doesn't see that. You give him some nice little something that you ordered from Amazon, or you got it from an expensive store. Maybe it's gold with rubies and diamonds. So Krishna doesn't see that little gold thing with rubies, diamonds. He tastes the love and affection as you're handing it to him. Please accept this, Krishna. That's what he gets. That's what he wants. He tastes that. So, and that love and affection that these sinless leaders were demonstrating when they were handing their gifts to Krishna, that's all Krishna wanted. That made the gifts priceless to Krishna. They're priceless. It's like a child. Sometimes a child may do, like on a birthday, the child may do a birthday card for the father, you see. And he draws this little stick figure, you know, and it's not good art. It's happy birthday, and everything's misspelled. You know, the letters are all different sizes. So there's no quality to it whatsoever. But the father accepts the love that's coming from the child. And he may keep that little piece of paper the rest of his life. You see? So it's not the quality of the gift itself that we're giving Krishna. It's the loving quality that we put into it, that loving feeling. And so if we can put that loving feeling, max out our loving feeling for Krishna in everything we do, maybe that's getting pretty close to doing your best. You know? That's getting pretty close. I have never said since 1979 that I am doing my best or that I did my best. Because I came to the realization I'm not to my best yet. One of these days, I'm going to get there. You know, maybe that's what I'm getting those sidelong glances, huh? Then I'll say, well, I'm doing my best. But then maybe the best will it's a moving target, you know. Now the best is out there. I have to achieve for a higher best. Okay, so 38 is on the board. Is that right? So I'm going to do 37. If I can get my eyes to work. Antaha pura janai pritya mukunda pulalo janai sasam brahmayar abhyut peta pravishadvarajam mandiram. Translation. With wide open eyes, the members of the royal household came forward in a flurry to lovingly greet Lord Mukunda, and thus the Lord entered the royal palace. So everyone's excited in the palace. Krishna's here and he's entering the palace. We're going to get some association with Krishna himself. So today's verse, Pritavilokya Bratenyam Krishnam Tribhuvaneshwaram Pritamothaya Paryankat Nasnusha Parishaswe Sashnusha Parishaswe Pritavilokya Brahmetyam Krishnam Tribhuvaneshwaram Pritimotaya Paryankat Sashnushna Parishashvaje Pritavilokya Brahmetya Yam Krishnam Tribhuvaneshwaram Pritamotaya Paryankat Sashnushna Parishashvaje. Prita, Queen Kunti, Vilokya, seeing, Bhatrayam, her brother's son, Krishnam, Lord Krishna, Tribhuvana, of the three worlds, Ishvaram, the master, Prita, full of love, Atma, whose heart, Uthaya, rising, Parayankat, from her couch, Sashushna, together with her daughter-in-law, Draupadi, Parishaswaje, embraced. Translation. When Queen Kunti saw her nephew Krishna, the master of the three worlds, her heart became filled with love. Rising from her couch with her daughter-in-law, she embraced the Lord. So I say and you repeat. When Queen Prita saw her nephew Krishna, the master of the three worlds, her heart became filled with love. Rising from her couch with her daughter-in-law, she embraced the Lord. Purport. Queen Kunti's daughter-in-law is the famous Draupadi. So, Omagantamarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadanti Swapadantakam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Parishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, so we've set the scene. We can see what's happening here. So it's, can you picture this in your mind? You see what's happening? All the beautiful ladies of the village are up on the roofs throwing the flowers on Krishna. The wealthy merchants have come out and they're offering gifts. Sinless leaders, they're all offering gifts. We're about to get into, now Krishna's in the palace, so we're about to get into in the coming verses his encounter, his dealing with Yudhishthira Maharaj. And so this is very exciting that we get to see this. This is like getting to see a transcendental movie, isn't it? We get to picture it. Sometimes in marketing, and I use it in preaching too, but I used it when I was in marketing. You tell people, if you want to impart an idea to someone, you start out, and people will generally do what you say. They typically will. So you say, picture this. Lord Krishna is entering the village. And then you describe, and they'll be picturing it. Now they may be picturing it anyway, but if you tell them, picture this, 99% of the people are going to picture it as you say it, you see. So when we're preaching, we always want to get people to get into that moment that we're talking about. Picture this. You know, when you're trying to talk about the relationship of Krishna and the living entity, you know, picture this. What if God was not some person that you needed to be afraid of. Can you picture that? Yeah. What if he was your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher? Oh, yeah, that sounds good. You see? So you can just get people to use their mind like that. Die. So sometimes you just help them. They may picture it anyway, but you help them. So, but for us, for the devotees, we've already made this change into being non-devotees. We've become devotees of Krishna. And so automatically we find ourselves picturing what's going on. When you're preaching to other people, you might need to give them a little help, you know. Jai, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai. You give them a little mental push from time to time. So Queen Kunti, she saw Krishna. She's going to want to go give her nephew a hug. You know? She's older, and she's going to look at Krishna and say, come here, you. Give me a hug. You see? The other ladies present, they're going to pay humble obeisances to Krishna because it's the proper thing to do, you see? But as we heard yesterday, the women on top of the buildings that were throwing the flowers on Krishna, they were hugging Krishna too, weren't they? They were giving mental hugs. So sometimes these mental hugs are more appropriate, you see, than a physical hug. It's just more appropriate. So, but Queen Kunti's going to have Krishna in her arms, you see. She's the senior, he's her junior. She wants her nephew. She wants to hug Krishna. So we notice that what's going on here, no one is seeing that God has come to town, isn't it? It's not like God has come to town. It's just Krishna. It's just wonderful Krishna. Why, he's so loving. What is it about this Krishna that attracts these ladies that are on the tops of the buildings throwing flowers and giving mental hugs? What is it? Is it that he's God? No. No, this is our wonderful Krishna. Of course, he's beautiful. We all know that he's beautiful. Where our eyes are being blessed that we get to see Krishna. And they're saying, you know, these queens that are traveling with him, what is their good fortune? What did they do? They get to see Krishna, and they get to catch his sidelong, joking glances, you see. So it's not like they're observing the common conception of God, is it? This is just wonderful Krishna that they're dealing with. So everyone is feeling love for Krishna. Even the merchants that come out, they love Krishna so much, they're giving him some article, but they're loving as they're giving. It's not like, here, this is expensive, take it. But I need a receipt for my income tax. You know, take it. I don't know, I'll just leave it here. You can get it if you want. No, I know this is not, this doesn't measure up to what I should be giving you, but please take it with my love. And everyone is so happy to see Krishna, you see, and they're thinking, this moment has been worth all of eternity to just have this moment that I get to see Krishna. I get to offer Krishna a gift, you see. So I couldn't help thinking when I was reading this that when we're doing our devotional service, isn't that the same thing? You're doing some service, then isn't that moment what you've lived all these billions of lives for? Isn't it? So this is perfection. What you're doing when you're doing this devotional service is getting closer to embracing Krishna. Full embrace, not just mental, full embrace. You know, sidelong glance, the whole thing. Krishna's joking with you. You're going to get all of this. That's this service that you're doing right now with love and affection is getting you closer, closer. And you can think that all of my lives in this material world have led me to this moment that's getting me even closer and closer to this Krishna. You see? So we should be beyond that point to where some people are when they start becoming devotees. There's still a little on reverence, you know? I know what you're telling me about this Krishna. Sounds like a really great guy, but hey, he's still God. Doesn't that worry you? Aren't you a little concerned that we're dealing with God? Huh? So yeah, there may be some, I don't know. I felt that in the beginning. Did anybody else ever feel that? Yeah, it's like, it all sounds good, but it's still God. What if I goof up? So as we go along and as we kind of rekindle a little bit of our lost loving feeling for Krishna, we start to, our love starts coming out of the dormant stage. Then we start to lose this fear of him being God, right? And we get to the point that we actually want Krishna to have his way with us. I want you to make the decision for me, Krishna. I want you to take my life. I want you to take my free will. Take it away. I want you to be my will. If I have free will, it can only get me in more trouble because it's got me in a lot of trouble. It got me away from you. And therefore, I want you to manage everything. I have nothing but you, Krishna. So at some point, this on reverence starts to fade away. We get more and more personal in our dealings with Krishna, in our offerings to Krishna. We may cook something for Krishna, but we feel like this isn't proper. This isn't good enough for you, Krishna. But please accept my love and please empower me to do better. Please empower me to do my best. I depend on you for that. So we can see the lack of fear and awe and reverence in this group here. It's just, they're overcome with love. You see? So, and we'll discuss this in the coming days. So, are there any questions or comments? Well, that was fast. You've been sitting on this one all day, huh? Yeah. I have my own personal mic.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, how to put loving feelings in our offerings to Krishna?
How to put loving feelings in our offerings to
What
Krishna.
should be our prayer? What should be our mood? What we should pray?
I think of so many prayers that Srila Prabhupada offered to Krishna. What do I have? What do I have? I have nothing. But I'm asking you, please, I've made this some little offering for you. Please take it. It's all I have. I have nothing. This is all I have, but I'm giving all I have to you. It's like one time in New York, I think it was 1968, there was a wealthy gentleman that came to visit Srila Prabhupada. And he wrote out a check for $10,000. So 10,000 US dollars in 1968 was probably 50,000 US dollars. I don't know. It was a lot more than it is now. So he gave it to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada took the check. He said, "Oh, very nice. Thank you very much." And he handed it to his secretary. And then this little girl, I forget who it was. I used to know who it was, but she came in and she offered Prabhupada a simply wonderful. "Prabhupada, I got this for you." And Prabhupada took it and he said, "Ah, you got this for me?" And she's, "Yes, Prabhupada." He said, "Oh, thank you. This is so wonderful. Oh, this is very good." And so he said, "I will treasure this. Is it okay if I eat it later?" "Yes, okay, Prabhupada. Thank you." He laid it, he kept it close. And so the gentleman that had just written out the check for $10,000, he says, "Swamiji, I gave you a check for $10,000 and you were thankful, but not so excited. This little girl gives you a sweet ball and you're so excited." And Prabhupada said, "She gave me everything she had." And then Prabhupada looks over his glasses. Enough said. The guy was very embarrassed. You know, Prabhupada didn't have to say, did you give me everything you had? But she did. This sweet ball, what else did she have? Maybe a couple of changes of clothes or something, but that was, for the moment, that was her wealth. This was very, you know, a simply wonderful, nice sweet ball to a child, that's pretty valuable. And she's like, "Here, Prabhupada, you take it." You see? So we have to feel like that. I want to give you everything, my dear Lord. But right now I'm limited into giving you just this. But I know what you really want is my love. And I'm loving you more and more every moment. Sometimes it's more real fast. Sometimes it's more slowly, you know. But my love for you is growing. And I'm begging you, please empower me to uh, to serve you properly and to be able to offer my love properly. I need your empowerment. Does that answer the question?
Yes, Prabhu. I have one more question, Prabhu. That
Wait a minute. Where does it say you get 2 questions? I'm just kidding. Go ahead. You can have 2. We'll charge you for it later.
yes, Prabhu. When we do our services, and while doing our services, due to the design of our education system, we often feel that this is kind of some assignment, and I have to complete in some stipulated time, and it's like assignment completion syndrome. And we don't think that why we are doing, and we forget that we just have that feeling that this work should be done in this time, and what that work is, we are not conscious that we actually conscious that we are doing service to Krishna. So how can we resolve it?
Well, you have to see this. I've got so many answers that I'm trying to give you at the same time, and they're all important. I think the more important one is one thing that I keep telling myself is that gratitude is always the attitude. We should always have gratitude. So when you get some service, you should be very grateful that I have it. Sometimes people think, well, that sounds a little artificial, because at that particular moment, this seems like a chore that I have to do. You know, it's like, oh boy, look at the time. I got some rounds I got to chant. Well, no, that doesn't sound very romantic, does it? It doesn't sound like you're going to relish the holy name. You got to chant your rounds. Poor, pitiful you. Your friends may say, oh, I know, me too. I've got a bunch of rounds. Maybe we go to a support group for people who have a lot of rounds to chant or something. We can all sit around and tell stories. Yeah, one time I had 32 rounds to do for breakfast. It was terrible. And people can pat you on the back. Oh, you're a good boy. You know. Oh, don't let your mind go there. It's not a chore. It's a privilege. When did it stop being a privilege? To chant your rounds or to study your verses or do your service? When did it stop? It stopped in your mind. It didn't. Chanting of Hare Krishna didn't change, but you changed it in your mind. You went in there and you did this magical mojo and you made it a chore. Like sometimes we have service to do, and we don't see this as a privilege. This is devotional service. Now you have the option to make it loving devotional service. Wow, that sounds better, doesn't it? That's sweeter. Or just, or we could say, sometimes we even leave off the devotional. We just say, well, I got service I got to do. No, it's loving devotional service if you will do loving devotional service. But for that, you have to go into your mind and do some repair work. You know, do a little fix it. Maybe replace a couple of worn out parts. You know, get the mind. And just tell yourself, no, this is a privilege. I'm a lucky fella. I am fortunate. You see? You have to tell yourself that often. Or not. After a while, you don't. You don't feel. You may feel like, oh, I'm tired. I want to take some rest. Oh, what's that? Oh, you want me to do my service? Oh, I wanted to take rest. But how can you turn down an opportunity to do service? I mean, this is what we train for. You know, if you're like special forces in the military, this is what they train for. We need you to go do your special forces thing. Save lives. Sir, yes, sir. They don't say, oh man, I'm so tired. Huh? They don't. No. Why? People are depending on me. This is what I do. So we have to think like that, train ourselves like that. Don't let ourselves say, oh, I don't know, I don't want to do that. Poor pitiful me. Nah. Chastise yourself when you do that, you know. Smack yourself. Stop it. Okay. You know. You can chastise yourself better than anyone. You can be tough with yourself. Can't you? Can't you be tougher? You can be tougher than him, right? Because if he gets tough with you, you'll get mad at him. Well, how come? Why are you saying that to me? You had browns yesterday. No. You can do it to yourself. You can tell yourself. You can tell yourself, look, I'm not going to take this anymore. You can be rough with yourself in a loving way. You can do it. And it's a good exercise to learn.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. What's the thin line, or what's the difference? Sometimes I get confident in my devotional service, but when does confidence turn into being puffed up in my devotional service?
Excellent. Excellent part of being a devotee, because that can happen. You get on a roll. You know, sometimes you may be traveling and giving several classes, and people are like, Jai, that was so good. And after a while, you start to believe them. So the proper thing is, first of all, we're persons. We're persons dealing with each other. If someone tells you, that was a wonderful kirtan, that was a wonderful class, very inspiring. Can we accept that? Well, yeah, we have to. They're giving it to you, but I accept it on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. You know, that's where the empowerment came from. So, but it kind of takes the loving affection out of it if I say, well, it was just Prabhupada. It's true. But they're trying to have an affectionate, loving relationship with me personally. So we have to say, that's kind of you to say, thank you very much. Right immediately, you have to pass it to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, you empowered me. If you have a deity that you pray to empower you, you say that to him too. You know, maybe you have a shalagram or something that you always beg, please, give me words to say. Please help me with this or that. So you immediately hand it to where you know it should go. I'm just the go-between. But for this purpose of the personal exchange between the heart that was touched by what you said, although it wasn't you, it was you, but it wasn't, you have to accept it graciously, and it'll bring the two of you closer together. Because you did put a little, maybe some of you in it. Because you've been trained to do that, So, and in that way, maybe we won't be so quick to get so puffed up and think, yeah, he's right. Yeah, people have been telling me that all week. Yeah. I just feel like an acharya. I wonder what the deity of me will look like. I hope it's what before I gained all this weight. So our minds can go, but we have to, it's like having a dog on a leash. My dear friend Padmanayan Prabhu, do you know Padmanayan? He's who here knows Padmanayan? He's in charge of the Mayapur Institute for Higher Education and Training. So he came to the U.S. and he came to visit me in Tucson. And so one of my disciples took him to the store and he was shocked because here's people walking a dog in the store. You know, so he's like, what is this? This dog is in the store. And so, you know, Kirtaneshwar Gauranga is saying, that's okay, Maharaj. That's allowed. You know, they do that in America. You know, dogs, big dogs, little dogs. They walk them in the store. You know. Yeah. Yeah, it's like this. What's this store over here in the mall? Spencer's. They even have Spencer's just for dogs and cats. Yeah, big, 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 much bigger than Spencer's. Snake. If you want to go shopping for your snake, you go to this. They call them PetSmart. And then there's others too. It's America. It's craziness. You know? This is what money will do to you. It's called having more money than brains. You know, once you get past a certain level of money, you no longer need brains. You can spend money on anything and everything because you have so much of it. It doesn't have to make sense. And therefore it could be sinful spending and you don't care and you don't even know. You've exceeded your brain power, your ability to think. So I forgot where I was going with it. You know, the dog in the store. Huh? Pavanayan, yeah. But I forgot the point that I was going to make by using. Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, the mind should be on the leash, like these people walk their dogs in the stores, you know. And so we have to keep it like that, you know. Because the mind, if it's, until it's been through the battle enough, until you've embarrassed yourself enough, you're going to have to pull that leash and say, stop it. You know. So, because it'll try to do that. One of the benefits of old age, and there are some, believe it or not, is that you learn a few things. And your mind starts to go there, and you don't have to pull the leash. You'll say, and the mind's like, huh? Oh, yeah. You just have to, hey, come on, you know, pull the leash. You don't have to do that, you know. Are we going to do this again, my dear mind? Oh, no, I don't want to. The mind gets tired of it after a while, you know. What are we trying to prove to ourselves? That I'm the better person? I'm the best person in the room? Do I want to prove that to myself? What if it was true? What would you do with that if it were true? What would that actually mean? Well, but then what does that give you? You know, where's the gratification? You know, it's like they say there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So where's the pot of gold if I let myself believe that I'm the superior person in the room? That's not going to give me loving affection. It's not true. I'm living in an illusion. I've departed the real world. I'm living in fiction. I'm waiting for the advantage. What could I possibly gain? So after so many decades, finally the mind says, oh, I don't want to do this. No, it just doesn't want to do it, you know. So you get past that at some point. I think most people, you know, most of my God brothers, you know, they're beyond that. They don't think of themselves as the smartest guy in the room. you know. Indradumna Swami once said to, you know, have you ever looked at one of your disciples and felt that I'm looking in the eyes of someone who's a better devotee? I said, yeah. So what is this? Well, I have to be greater than everyone, you know, even those that will bow down. No, no. Because what are you always? Servant. You're the Das, Anudas. And then you can throw in some more Anudases, you know. If you throw in too many Anudases, you're just trying to impress me. You know, probably one Anudas is enough, isn't it? No, you can go some more, but only if you feel it. So, yeah, and there's a lot of there's a lot of fun, a lot of gratification in being the servant, because I get to be me. I get to be that person that I left behind when I left Krishna. So that's kind of like, what would you call it? Oh yeah, liberation. It's very liberating for me to remember it. Oh, I'm not the master. I'm the servant. Oh, so now I'm actually, that's back home thinking. You know, that's back home stuff. Why, that's just the way I should always think. And then when I depart from that, I'm new world thinking. I'm into this material world thinking that, well, I'm here, and there's only so much resources, so I have to struggle before he gets them, or he'll get ahead of me. He'll get the prettiest girl, he'll get the money, he'll get the attention. What does that leave me with? So this is just material garbage. You get back to being the servant. You can have the pretty girl, you can have the money, and I can be your servant. And I'll try to do my best. All right. Anything else? Or are you hungry for breakfast? One more? Two more? Hey, I haven't seen you yet. Hare Krishna. All right. He had his hand up first. So have we got time for two more questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Another pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, like as you are an inspiration for many wonderful devotees. Like you are a Grihastha and now like you have entered like Vanaprastha ashram. So I have a relevant question in this aspect that like being a Grihastha, like do we have means we have various attachments to our like different the money we earn from our job, to our parent, spouse, child, and like many different things. So, and it is also a struggle or challenge to get away from these attachments, means with time. So, how can we be like naturally like jolly and happy being a grihastha and be unaffected by these attachments in our grihastha life, and like and we can serve without any hidden intention or motive, like in a subtle sense also. So and like enter Vanaprastha like eventually at the correct time.
So your question is, being Grihastha, how can you get into giving freely?
Means like basically, Prabhuji, like I want to be natural in serving Prabhupada, like without having any like hidden intention or motives. Like sometimes it's like present in a subtle sense. So how to be natural and be happy with our service, like
Yeah,
not feel it as
it takes practice. It's like the very first time we pick up the mridanga to start to play, We're not expert. We want to be expert. I don't think anybody says, I'm going to learn to play mridanga, but I just want to be so-so. No, we want to be good. We want to make that contribution to the kirtan, you know? And so, but it takes practice. You can't do it when you first pick it up. So grihastha life is like that. We have to be willing to do the work to become a good grihastha. And that involves a lot of things, but one thing is that when you're a grihastha, you're a servant of so many people. First and foremost, you're a servant of the wife and the children. If you have children, you're a servant of them. Then you're servant of the temple. Just because I'm grihastha, I don't live under the temple. They don't give me room. They don't feed me. It doesn't mean I'm not their servant. You see, I'm servant. I'm providing my own income. My wife goes to the store and purchases the boga. I don't go take it out of the temple. We buy it. She prepares it, you know, like that. So, but I'm servant of the temple. I'll take some service. This is very good for the grihastha to do that. I'm not taking anything from the temple. I'm here to give. First of all, here's some Lakshmi. Whatever it is that you can afford after you've taken care of family needs, you know, then give some Lakshmi. Some time. Give some time. If you can take up a project, that's, you know, like preaching to the youth or some special project that you take up, and maybe even you fund it through your work. Wow, now that's pretty nice. You see? So in other words, you've seen yourself as a servant of the community. You've got your home, your servant. Of course, you're a servant to your employer, wife, family, employer, temple, community. Why, you're so busy serving. You see? It's very wonderful, isn't it? Does that answer your question? Thank you. All right, one more, and then we'll wrap it up.
In this topic, and similarly when Krishna enters Mathura also, the ladies of Mathura and Indraprastha, they are attracted to Krishna and they embrace him mentally. So, but they're in Madhurya Ras or they're in Dasya Ras? Because generally we hear that the ladies of Indraprastha, they're in Dasya Ras. So how is it? How do we understand this?
Say that again.
So they're in mode of servitorship, or they're in mode of conjugal relation with Krishna?
The ladies that are tossing the flowers.
Yes.
Yeah, they're feeling this conjugal love, but they're also in a dasa relationship. You see, it's not Madhurya Leela, is it? Not fully, but somewhat, isn't it? They're feeling this love for Krishna, and they want to serve him out of love. So that's a little complicated for me to figure out. Maybe I've been in that situation, but I can't remember it. You know, maybe you have too. You've been there. You might have been one of those ladies tossing the flowers. Wow.
But the problem is I have also forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah, here we are. We've all forgotten. All of us have thrown flowers at Krishna. All of us have thrown flowers at Krishna that he's caught and smelled and said, oh, this is so wonderful. He throws it back to you. Krishna. We've all been there and done that for eternity. But we forgot it. You know, it's there, but it's dormant. It's like maybe not here, but in some parts of the world, in the wintertime, the grass is no longer green. It turns brown. It doesn't do that here, does it? Grass is always green here, isn't it? Yeah. Some parts of the world, though, it turns brown. It looks dead. But it's not dead. It's just dormant. And it's dormant because the environment is not favorable for it to be healthy and to flourish. So it just goes into a coma. So we're like that. We're like in a spiritual coma. It's all there, but it's just dormant. We need to be picking through. If you could uncover your memory of what you've experienced directly with Krishna, why your head would explode. And then somebody would have to clean up that mess, you know. Now, can you imagine if you just got a few memories of you relating and associating with Krishna, if it just awakened right now, wow, what would that do to you? That would put you in a coma, you see. So we have all this. We have an eternity of memories, loving, really sweet memories of being with Krishna before we came here. So now we're here and that's all dormant. But we're getting it back little by little by little. And one of these days it's just going to wake up. It's going to be like in your face. You're going to remember who you were. You're going to remember the relationship with Krishna. And Krishna is going to be standing right there next to you. And he's going to be thinking, you remember me. He's going to be very happy. You're going to be very happy. You see? But right now, we're just in that state. We don't remember. It's hard for us to even think that these wonderful times with Krishna ever even happened. Yeah? It's so far removed because we've had such dirt in our minds for so long. And there may still be some dirt, you know? It's like when you sweep a room, sometimes in the corners there may be a little dirt, you know? The room is still contaminated because there's a little bit of dirt in the corners. You might have to look closely, but it's there. So our minds are like that. We've cleansed them with a holy name, devotional service. There's still a little bit of grime and dirt in the corners of our minds. But we're a work in progress. You see? We've got most of it out. Pretty soon, very soon, we're going to remember our position, who we are, who is Krishna, how do we relate. That's all going to be there. So you have to be prepared when those memories come back. It's going to be a shock, isn't it? Is that a good answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
It's a good question. That was a tough one. All right, I think we should wrap it up. What do you say? All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.